Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this evening's meeting of the Biddulph Town Council Town and Community Committee here on Tuesday, the 15th of July. This meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Biddulph Town Council YouTube page. The aim is that decision making should be transparent and in the public domain, which will involve more of our community and local democracy. By being in this council chamber, you are consenting to be recorded and for your image to be added to YouTube. The images and sound may be used for training purposes. Any views expressed are the speaker's own and do not necessarily reflect the view of Biddulph Town Council. Please view the guidance on recording and public meetings policy if you need more information. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be moving on to agenda item number 9, apologies and approval of any substitute members. Do we have any apologies?
Apologies from councillors Kate, Parks, Stott and Eardley, and no substitutes.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Okay. So moving to item 10, declarations of interest. Does anyone need to declare any disclosable pecuniary interests and dispensations? Councillor Smith.
And we just on item 15, my daughter is on the next cohort of work experience with the high school.
Thank you. Any other disclosable interests? None. Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 11, minutes. To sign the minutes of the Town Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 17th of June, 2025. These minutes have been to the Town Council, approved at Town Council. Can someone who was actually, I can't have been at that meeting, 17th of June. Apologies are here. Okay, so
That's easily resolved.
That's easily resolved. Right. Thank you. Okay, right. So can someone who was at the meeting, thank you, propose those meetings?
Seconded.
Do we need to go through them or can we take them all as an accurate record as they've been through Town Council? So hands please for that. Right, thank you. If you just give me a moment while I initial and sign these. Talk amongst yourselves. Just too loudly. Thank you, Chief Officer. Okay, right, moving on to item 12, to consider the format of a mining exhibition in September 2025. Chief Officer, do you have input on this?
Yes, so as you will be aware, the town hall frontage is going on very nicely and we anticipate should be very near completion towards the end of August. The only slight fly in the ointment there has been coping stones. But we anticipate their resolution fairly soon. And what we talked about previously was having a kind of celebration of mining within the town. So it's not so long ago we reinstated 3 mining lamps on St John's Road roundabout. And obviously we are celebrating our mining heritage on the town hall frontage with kind of raising up of the wheel and the main bricks as well. We did think it might be a nice idea to coincide with the classic vehicles show and to have a mining exhibition within the town hall. So we can come up with lots of ideas as regards what that might look like, but we very much wanted your feedback in terms of the sorts of things that we might include. So for example, the things we've talked about, quite a number of people involved in mining now are of an age. We did wonder whether it might be quite nice to do one of these sort of living history sessions where we record some of the voices of those people who've been involved in mining. So we've got those, their experiences and their voices forever, essentially. Lots of pictures we thought, maybe a kind of timeline along the walls, the obviously mining in Biddulph has been was around for a long time, so we can kind of chronicle that and let people know. On the day of the classic vehicle show, which as I say is the 13th of September, then we have a lot of visitors to the town who are not usually here, so we thought it might be a nice showcase exhibition. We could ask some young people to do some artwork as well, if we've got time to do that before then. Might be a bit tight, but just keen to get your involvement with that and kind of any ideas you might.
Yeah, thank you. I've got Councillor Rogers and then Councillor Smith.
Thank you. This was discussed on Monday with Jim Davis. I think most of you know Jim Davis. He was behind the car show as well. Obviously, it's going to be a very busy day on the 13th of September. And getting everybody into town is going to be a task on its own. So we're suggesting that you do something on this lines, whatever we want to do. It's around 1 or 2 o'clock. Once all the vehicles are in town, we don't want to try and organise that and get everybody in the town at the same time. Just a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Rogers. Councillor Smith.
I don't know whether you could speak to the high school, but they've got some from their art exhibitions and things that they do. They've got some really beautiful concertina boards that like divide the room up, which they use to display the art. And it's really effective to sort of, you know, get people to go walk around a certain way, but it's really effective. They're about 6 or 7 foot tall, but they're like black concertina type things. I think that'd look, something like that would look really nice if you're looking at artwork and pictures and things.
Thank you. Councillor Yates.
Yes, looking at displaying old photographs and things of coal mining it's very difficult to get hold of those images, principally because cameras, certainly old-fashioned cameras, were never left on the ground because of the risk of a swallow from the flash. So as much as there was always thousands of people on the ground, very hard to find photographs. There is, I remember quite a lot of coal mining sites on Facebook. It's mining archaeology is a passion of mine. And a lot of pictures are posted with a copyright wash from a lady, an American photographer who had the excellent kit and excellent access called Janine Weevil. And I've just been looking up her archive. There was an archive of literally hundreds and hundreds of coal mining pictures from North Staffordshire. Now, with a lot of work, you can tell exactly where they come from, but a lot of coal mines on the ground generally look like coal mines on the ground. You can't, you know, it's very, unless you can see a face, you can't, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where it is. So I'm sure you could get, you know, there'd be a small charge, but I'm sure you could get some really iconic, really top quality pictures just to demonstrate what it was actually like, both on top and underground, and certainly from North Staffordshire. So if you don't mind, I've found the link to where the archive is stored. I'll email it to the office and then you can have a look. But all the mining sites use them. These that come with a copyright wash. But if you with the subscriptions you've probably got access to it for next to nothing. And you know, it'd be perhaps something nice to make a picture of anyway, to be perfectly honest.
Thank you, councillor. Any other speakers on this? Okay, right. Okay, what's that? All about councillor Smith again, yes.
It might be a good idea to invite North Staff's Miners' Wives as well. They've got obviously the big tapestries and the banners and things, but they've also, when there was a mining exhibition at the Potteries Museum, they've got a replica caravan that what they use in the strikes, and it's all decorated up and you can go inside it, and they've got all the original literature and stuff inside, which is really quite nice. Might be something that could go in the newly flagged area in front of the town hall.
Thank you, councillor Smith. Councillor Kosicki.
Yeah, Mr. Capistano posts photos of Victoria and Chatterley Whitfield. So maybe it might be worth approaching him because he posts photos quite often on Facebook. It would also be interesting to perhaps photos of when Park Lane Estate was built in 1954 by the Coal Board. So that would be houses on like Mayfield Road, Springfield, all around there. So I think perhaps Mr. Capistano probably has photos of those when they were being built by the Coal Board.
Thank you very much, councillor Kosicki. Okay, we got councillor Yates again.
Simple note, I think Malcolm Sword's got some of the mining estates as it was being built, certainly from his family, because Malcolm's the one who's in the mural behind the Littlefield Community Zone, so he is well known. Because I'm sure he posted some on Facebook as well. And it looked amazing when the gardens were there and things, and just the buildings, you know, black and white. Fantastic photo.
It's also worth mentioning that Park Lane Estate at the time was a bit like the mini United Nations, because obviously it wasn't just local people that were employed in the mining industry. You had people coming from Eastern Europe, Poland, Hungary, You also had Scots, Irish, Welsh, Geordies at a later stage. So it has an interesting history that perhaps is never really highlighted.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of very useful information there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, we'll move on then.
May I just say that
Yeah.
we haven't got another meeting of this committee before the 13th of September, so
Yeah,
if you come across anything or you have some marvellous ideas, will you just ping a message just through to the mailbox or leave us a
Yeah.
voice message or whatever, and then we can incorporate that as well.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now moving on to receive a verbal update on events for the summer months. Chief Officer, is this yourself and you're going to tag team this?
Yes. Inevitably
Yep.
get something, so. We've done what we normally do, so we've had lovely Emily in our, who's done work experience, who's fulfilled some of this, and Julie's, in that, and the fabulous document you've got now. We've posted this online today, and this has gone to all of the schools and you've just got a copy for your information, really, if people are interested in what's going on in the town. We've tried to incorporate, inevitably there'll be some stuff that's announced now that we've missed, but we'll continue to promote that through social media. So we've incorporated as much as we possibly can about things that are going on in the town over the summer holidays, just to kind of raise awareness of those, including, you know, food bank, food options and that sort of thing. As part of this agenda item, we just wanted to give you an update on some of the activities that are going on kind of before this committee meets again in September. So we've talked before, we've considered our activities for VJ Day. So obviously it was really important that we celebrated VE Day in May. And so on Friday, the 15th of August, there will be a service at St Lawrence's Church. There'll be a service in the morning. We're just finalising that at the moment, and then that'll be followed by a fish and chip lunch in the schoolroom. Fish and chips being one of the things that wasn't rationed at this time, so it's something that the pageant master and that team are quite keen for us to give to people. So this will be a free of charge event, but obviously because of catering, we need to get that booked. So as soon as we finalise the times, we'll promote that and send that out to you as well. We're proposing that we also lay a wreath at the monument in the churchyard as well. That process. That's the 15th of August. We've just mentioned Classic Vehicle Show, Saturday the 13th September. That's, I mean, it starts much earlier, but the event itself runs from 1 till 5. If you can do any volunteering at that event, that would be very much appreciated. Getting people in is the challenge there. And kind of.
Can I add something into that?
Yeah.
In terms of as a request that can we try to get the cars for the show to actually extend up the North High Street? Because we did this 2 years ago and it worked really well, but I think a few of the traders on the North High Street were.
That's going North High Street.
Yeah, but yes, but I think last year they didn't go very far on it. And just a request if we could try and extend it into the North High Street if possible. Some of the traders down there have mentioned it, that's all. So.
Is that the car show you were calling out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, it depends a little bit on which vehicles turn up on the day as well.
Yeah.
We're a bit dependent on that. In previous years, we've had a massive group of bikes that have come and it's extended all the way down, but it depends what else is going on. So
I'd raise it by.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If anyone is going anywhere where you think you could take some handouts for that to continue to raise awareness, obviously Councillor Rogers goes all around these car shows and takes his leaflets there. But if you're going anywhere where you would like to take some leaflets, that would be marvellous. We can provide that for you. And as we talked before, we're going to combine that memorial with the opening of the frontage, basically. So we'll do a bit of a ribbon cutting and some tea and cake activities there. Homegrown and handmade, 27th is the 27th of September. So this is a bit of an homage to Biddle Vegetable and Fruit. It's going to be our event, which is a competition for vegetable and flower growers. There's going to be fair trade cake and craft competitions. And the categories will be released within the next couple of weeks. We've been encouraging growers within the town to grow the biggest onion or the longest carrot and things like that for quite some months now. So all very light-hearted and open to any age group. There are quite a number of stalls outside on the frontage as well. So far we've got the Youth Zone will be there, the Newport Meadows team, Love and Bloom, there'll be art displays, Bamboo will be there. That's a fabulous project. The Yarn Bombs will be there. There'll be groups doing felting, the Lovely People's Group, a wood turner, Hedgehog Society, Sex Wildlife. So there'll be some really lovely things going on there. So that's on the 27th of September. So any thoughts on any of those activities that you'd like to feed in, or if you're able to volunteer to support those, even if it's just for an hour, it doesn't matter at all, just all hands on deck really would be marvellous.
Okay.
Very well.
Right, thank you very much. Okay, so now moving on to an item requested by Councillor Smith to consider the town council's involvement in the Big Butterfly Count. Councillor Smith, would you like to?
There was a bit of chatter on Facebook about someone had mentioned that they haven't seen a painted lady in a while, and it kind of piqued my attention a little bit. And I remembered that around about this time every year they do the Great British Butterfly Count, which starts on the 19th of July, I believe. So what my thoughts were is to see if we could get a lot of social media out, sort of publicise it a little bit, because there's quite a few butterflies that are actually nearing extinction, our native butterflies. So it'd be good to be able to contribute to the work of the butterfly count. Starts on the 19th.
It's actually Friday the 18th, I think, on that.
Yeah.
Friday the 18th.
Yeah.
18th.
How do we envisage that we might actually get involved in that in terms of
Promotion.
promotion? Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically down to individuals to download if they need to the chart there. Then sit somewhere where they expect there to be some butterflies. I'm very lucky in that various plants in my garden do attract them, and I can assure you there are still painted ladies and fiddles. And I'm certainly going to have a go at that this year. And in the past, I've done the big bird count, which I think is an RSPB thing. I think various programs on the television often promote that, for example, which is always quite a worthwhile, interesting thing to do. So the idea is to get as many individuals as possible to obviously put the information in. From that, they start to extrapolate which ones are doing well, which are not doing so well, which, as Councillor Smith said, are nearing possible extinction, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, anything we can do to publicise it would be most welcome.
Okay, so essentially we can promote it. I mean, would it be possible for us to effectively have the printout of the available from the town of the butterfly chart, just so those who haven't the ability to print out a good quality copy? Yeah. Okay.
Something free that families can do in the summer as well, isn't it?
Yes.
It's contributing to conservation, so.
Thank you very much. I think we can. Okay.
Happy
Right.
to promote that then.
Okay. Right. And so if we could make copies of the chart available, that would be really good as well.
Joe's going to have a play to see what people do then when they filled the chart
Okay,
in.
right, thank you.
We'll have to have a look.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for that, Councillor Smith. Okay. Right. Moving on.
Wayne wants to speak.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you waving there, Wayne. Councillor Rogers.
Just very quickly, on the named butterfly garden on the border, what can we do to promote them in that area? What have we got to promote butterflies in the butterfly garden?
Get rid of all trees and plant a flower meadow.
It's named the butterfly garden.
They tend to get.
Beautiful butterflies there.
Yeah.
And I think it's been we talked about this before, haven't we? The cutting back of a lot of the trees that we did last year has made a big difference in terms of opening it up and making it bit more
Right.
accessible and hospitable
Yeah.
to different wildlife.
It's always an area we're not sure what to do with, but apply go and promote.
We'll just manage it. It's it's, you know, it looks nice enough as you come into town and we just keep it safe and do what we need to do there. It's got plenty of butterflies at the moment. I might have to go rogue and plant some more buddleia or something there if anyone's got any cuttings of that.
I've got several, so yes.
Yeah, we'll stick a bit more because they love that, don't they?
Yeah.
We've also got a semi-wild area by the Aldi, which is quite overgrown, so perhaps that attracts butterflies.
People meadows as well.
Okay, so essentially you've got several locations and.
Yeah.
Right.
So many rooms.
It was a very, very good location. The, where we planted the trees for the Queen's canopy at the
Yes.
Spafford Road.
Yeah.
We went down there with Gareth and AES to look at ongoing maintenance and things. And the amount of butterflies was amazing. In fact, I'm trying to look up one of the butterflies, which I'd never seen in my life. I'm struggling to find its name. I'm hoping I could, sort of, it'd jump out and remind me when I saw it. I've never seen it anywhere else.
Thank you, councillor Yates. Okay, so I think we can move on from that now.
Yes, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
right, so moving on to item 15 to receive a verbal update on recent work experience placements and ongoing discussions with the high school about future involvement. Chief Officer.
Very short and sweet this really. So if anyone's popped in to see us in May or in over the past couple of weeks, you'll know that we always actively engage with the work experience activities at the high school. So we have year 10 students in May and we've had lovely Emily every Wednesday afternoon since the start of her year 12 work. And then we've got her for a couple of weeks. We've had another young man last week. Give them a full overview of council life and show them some of the interesting things we get up to on a daily basis. And keen to continue support that. We've been invited to take part. We've been to one meeting. I took our 2 work experience students back to school with me last week, which they were delighted with. And we went to the high school and they are revamping what they do with regards to work experience and they're keen to have some discussions with employers. So we are obviously one of the employers who does actively engage with that. So I'm keen to do more of that. In terms of the kind of lower schools, Jodie and I do a lot of going into middle schools and the first schools to provide them with information about what the council is and what the town hall is and what we can do and what how important voting is and all that sort of stuff. So we're very keen to continue to do that as well, so that as the young people in the town kind of go through schools, that the town hall and the town council is something that's accessible to them. So just wanted to kind of keep you updated on that really. It is hard work having work experience students, but it's incredibly rewarding and I think it's important for us to do that. There we are.
Okay. Is there any role that we can have in terms of liaising with other local businesses as to help out with this further? In terms of we were starting the business breakfast, so we were sort of trying to start the kick off the business forum, weren't we, again?
Yeah, we do engage really well with traders. I think quite a lot of the town centre traders are probably would consider themselves to be too small to accommodate a young person. But I know that there are businesses within the town, and certainly at this first meeting there were people there who were keen to actively engage in the work experience process and any kind of revamp of that, linking their work more closely with the course choices that young people take as well, and kind of giving them the experience then to get into work. It's things like having a conversation with a young person and making it so that they'll have a conversation back, because it's very easy to talk to their peers and they talk to their students and talk to their teachers in another way as well. But actually talking to somebody in a work environment is a different skill itself. So it's, even if we can just sit with it for an afternoon and force people to talk to, it's beneficial for their future prospects, isn't it? So.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to, Councillor Kissiggy, do you want to come in on
I
that?
think you fired their imagination in wanting to look for work in local government.
Honestly, I think so. We always say this. You come into work. Yeah, well, this is it. This is how we ended up with Kelsey. We start off the week thinking, right, these are the key things we're going to achieve this week. And then somehow we get to the end of the week thinking, well, that was busy. Have we done what we thought we were going to do? And, along the way, you've had a very full and varied week. So there is no day that is ever the same. No hours. That's the nature of dealing with people, isn't it, as well?
Councillor Smith.
Just to respond to Councillor Kaziki, I had a conversation with one of the young people last week and they told me that they wanted to be the Prime Minister, so maybe they have on them a little bit. Never mind politics.
Perhaps get down that particular rabbit hole.
Also, if you can pass on, because after meeting both of them, they were both so lovely and, wish them well in the future because they were really lovely.
Absolutely, yeah, you want to come as well?
Yes, I'd like to echo that. I mean, I came in when we were doing the official photographs and things, and I thought I was pleasantly surprised with how mature they were and how they actually engaged quite readily. They certainly weren't in awe of me when I came bounding in, so that's a very positive thing.
I'll say echo that as well from my involvement, brief involvement earlier this week. So yeah, I think
So it's a very positive
Yes,
experience. It's
yeah.
incredibly rewarding. It's hard work in the sense that it's, they're learning. So you've got to kind of almost not handle, but they get people from here who are keen to learn. So that's to nurture that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Right, moving on again now to item 16 to receive a verbal update on the ongoing relationship with the Film Hub Midlands.
Thank you. These are quite short and sweet as well. So that we do a number of film activities and I've tried to keep you updated on what they are. So we always do Feast and Flicks and that's our kind of community cinema. It's a slightly different format than the others because we feed the people who come with varying needs. And it's a really lovely group. So that's something that we do under the banner of Biddulph Works Together and is funded via that mechanism there. We have increasingly been doing family films. We've got another one planned in summer holidays, and in the main holidays, we do a family film, and that's for free. So that's that attracts pretty significant numbers of people. We usually have a hall that's full of those. In May 24, we launched Biddulph Scratch, fondly named after the previous cinema that was here. And we have worked with Film Hub Midlands in order to make that work. And there's lots of different kind of film elements that come within that partnership. They have helped to design a logo. So they funded the logo and they, for the past couple of years, have funded the films as well. So obviously we have to have a license to show a film if we're advertising the name of the film. That's how that works. They've done this because they've had a spotlight on Staffordshire as part of that project. And that spotlight is coming to an end at the end of this coming financial year. So they've been keen to meet with us to understand their kind of lessons learned from us, whether we are keen to continue with it. And what our plans are, and obviously our plans are your plans. So we're kind of feeding those conversations back to you and just getting your initial feedback on that. So since we've started Scratch, we started with quite low numbers to be anticipated because nobody was really sure what it was. But since then, around 600 people have come to see films as part of that element of our work. We were asked as part of that spotlight in Staffordshire to try and showcase some independent films and some British films, which we've done. We've found the whole experience actually really positive, and we've got some quite good lessons that have come out of that as well. We've found that actually there's quite a number of women who attend these sessions who, obviously our nearest cinemas are quite a distance away, who maybe weren't able to get to those sessions, or we haven't shown kind of chick flicks by any stretch of the imagination. That's not what what we've done, but it's been very positive to see who has come. You know, one of the biggest revelations for us was when we showed the Perfect Day, and it would got mostly subtitles, an almost silent film apart from the odd word here and there, wasn't it? But actually we had really good turnout for that. So it's things as well that people are attracted to, things that they can't see anywhere else as well. And particularly with the you know, the film theatre that used to be attached to Staffordshire University, that's had some challenging times in terms of their kind of their kit and their kind of relocation. So we haven't competed with them, but I think there's definitely an appetite to show things that aren't your big blockbusters. Although we have shown some big blockbusters. We did Bridget Jones the other week, and that was as well attended as. Yeah, we've done some big ones. Yeah. They're all very positive. They were keen to talk to us about the fact that funding will still be available if we want to do specific projects. We talked about, as a result of conversations within this committee, about having a session that's specifically for SEND families, and they work with an organisation, Touchstone, which provides quite interactive kind of cinema sessions, which are very accessible to people who would benefit from that. So we'll try and seek some funding from them to bring them to Biddulph. Going forward, because the spotlight moves away from Staffordshire onto another area, I'm not sure where, is it Derbyshire? The town council will then need to fund the licences for Scratch. So as we come to kind of budget setting towards the end of this financial year, we'll need to bear that in mind. But I think our feedback currently, and we'll continue to monitor numbers, types of films that we're watching, the feedback currently is that whole experience has been very positive, and we're offering something in town that doesn't exist already and has been really well received. So I think we would very much like to carry on with that, but we'll obviously need to think about that in a budget sense.
Okay, right, thank you. So I've got Councillor Rogers and Councillor Yates.
Thank you, Chair. The office staff know that some friends of mine come to this film meeting regularly, and they really enjoyed it. I think now we've gone past Midsummer's Day, dark nights aren't that far around the corner. I think unfortunately we need to just look into it, because I don't know, you get over to people, a lot of people don't realise what's going on in town again. But I think if you go to plug in the local papers, possibly, it costs us a bit of money, I know. But I think as the darker nights come, I think it could really take off. As I say, my friends look forward to coming. It's not many to miss, really.
Thank you, Councillor Yates. Sorry, Councillor Rogers. Councillor Yates.
Yes, I've certainly attended everyone which I can.
They are quite enjoyable. I'm just wondering what kind
The budget are you talking about?
saying, you say you know there's continuity of funding from the Midlands Film Club, but what would it be needed? Are we talking in the low hundreds, or are we talking in the low thousands, or?
It's about 1,200 quid. It's, yeah, so to show, essentially, it's about £100 per.
So just to follow up on that, I'm wondering, I mean, at the moment it's free.
I'm not advocating that we charge per se, but I'm just wondering whether you just run a donations box. And I think seriously, if 600 people have turned up so far and you get 600 people in 12 months, then I'd be surprised if you aren't very close. Probably not being funny, and that's also a measure of the sort of quality of what we offer, you know, and it's, as long as it's done discreetly and low key, a bit like a church collection, so to speak. It doesn't matter whether you do or whether you don't.
You know what I mean? So.
Because it is quite decent. It is a good idea.
Get you in the
So,
Easy math, since everybody paid £1, it's just 600 quid.
so what I was saying is you don't cast, you know, most people just drop a few, and it does make a difference, obviously.
Okay. Yes, that's a good idea in that case. Thank you, Councillor Yates. Anyone else on any comment more on that? No? Okay. Sorry, Councillor Smith, yes.
Just ask when you do the social media posts if you can put the certificate on. Because the voting one, just to see what the certificates are, because people might be more likely to want to vote for something if they can go with the family, if they know what the certificate is.
Right.
Thank you.
Penguins 12.
Right. Okay, right.
I'll vote.
Just a little request, can we advertise what the film is a little bit sooner out somehow? Because they asked me what's the next film, I'm not sure yet, to be fair.
It always is. So it's always in the Biddulph Times. Facebook has failed us a couple of times. I mean, we do boost posts. We do put, you know, a couple of quid on it to try and bring it to the top of people's kind of feeds. But I don't quite know what's gone on a couple of times. Yeah, it just doesn't like us sometimes, Facebook. But yeah, we've resorted. Let's say resorted because we put posters up for all sorts of stuff. But we've been more prolific with posters as well around the place, because actually people still see that a lot, you know, in the town hall windows and over in Sainsbury's and up the line. So we've been working on a range of
And with this, like for this next one for August, it's a vote.
Vote.
Yes, they can choose.
It's on the town council website.
No, it's on the social media.
On the social media, on the.
Chance with.
Okay, right. Okay, right. Thank you. Okay, so moving on then, in that case, to receive a draft version of Library of Things documents attached. So everyone should have received that with their pack of information.
So do you want me to talk about that?
I think that's probably a good plan. I'm just trying to find my own one. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I think probably our final version of this will be a bit more wordy, but this is the gist of this. So you're aware that we've had some funding from the county council. We need to get moving with spending that, and this is pretty much one of our jobs for the summer, is to spend a lot of money on a Library of Things and setting that up. But we just wanted to run some of these key principles past you. Obviously, you know that the Library of Things provide free and low cost items, so that's the purpose of it. In terms of eligibility and membership, we're proposing that it's for people over 18 of Biddulph and surrounding areas. We'll need to see a proof of address and photo ID. They need to complete a very brief application form and sign the terms and conditions. We're suggesting an annual membership fee of £5. That fee would cover a kind of an admin charge. So it's deliberately kept very low so that it's accessible to a wide range of people. So the borrowing rules are quite key on this as well. And there are slight variations between the ones that but we kind of pulled these together as a sort of for your agreement, really. If somebody wants to borrow something, they can borrow up to 5 things at any one time. The standard loan period is for 7 days. They can renew that, but that has to be done with prior agreement. And then a non-return is rechargeable. So that's if somebody doesn't, has a hedge cutter and doesn't bring it back, then an invoice is essentially raised for the full value of the amount that they haven't bought back. There are some late kind of return charges. Now we're saying within this that borrowers are responsible for checking the items when they pick them up. Obviously, the team here would have checked them as well, and they'll be clean and in good working order. But they must check them and also return them clean and good working order as well. Some information on the next page about the items that will be available. Got quite a comprehensive list. This is not everything, obviously. So we need to set up the computer system. So a part of our application to the county council was for this kind of online booking system. So we need to get that set up, and then items are reserved online. It could be done in person via the town hall. Obviously, that person, our team then will input that onto the system for them. There's a small charge per item, and it's paid before they come to get the item. And then we talked about collection and return times. So what we're proposing is that they could return it on a Saturday morning, or at any point when the reception is open. They could give it to the reception team I don't want to ask the reception team to start doing a lot of checking of items, so that might be a bit of a fluid setup, but that's what we'll work towards. Borrowers need to report if something's not working. If it's not and it appears to have been their fault, they might be liable for that. We expect normal tear though. We will provide a brief safety induction, which will essentially be make sure you read the instructions. It'd be daft with some item.
Point of information on that, when it comes to saws, and it says like proof of prior use, does that work?
We were all trying to avoid highlighting that particular faux pas of yours, councillor Yates, so.
That's a faux pas.
Yeah, well, it doesn't become much more faux to me.
Liabilities.
No, items are very much used.
Right.
Yes, I know, at the borrower's own risk, and there's a disclaimer document there as well. We're saying here that people can donate items that are in good working order. And anybody who wants to give an actual donation of cash, that would help to support the project going forward. And then we'll process information appropriately. In terms of the application form, it's very short and sweet. That's on the next page there. And the disclaimer is back document there. You agree to the following: use at your own risk, you're responsible for it. You agree to undertake your own training, although there'll be a very basic safety instruction. We have no liability as a town council, and items are lent in good faith. So there's a condition statement there. If you are happy with this tonight, I would propose to send it to our solicitor and just say, is there anything else that you'd like us to add in here? But this is a kind of starting point so that we can get up and running. The ambition being that this will open in September.
Right, okay, I've got councillor Rogers, the mayor, the deputy mayor, and councillor Redfern and councillor Hopkins. Okay, so we'll work around the now. Councillor Rogers.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah. I've always said I'm for the idea, but I've always said from day one, I'm always a bit concerned about personal injury. I think item 4 on disclaimer needs to be highlighted more in bold. Staff and volunteers shall not be liable for personal injury. Just to point it out, and obviously you're going to have to solicitor that covers us, and there's no little back ways of trying to claim off as if anything happened. That's my only concern, is the personal injury with it. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Rogers. Okay, so yes, councillor Hopkins, mayor.
What are the methods of payment, please?
Let's double check. You pay through the computer system. You pay via. Yeah, we can do card payment here. We could accept cash, but we can certainly do card payment to the town hall. We're not just, because we haven't bought the computer package yet. We're not just sure whether you can pay through that, or whether you need to phone up or pay when you're around. So.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, councillor Redfern.
Yeah, I've read this through. I mean, I'm assuming there will be some sort of flexibility in this. If somebody suddenly rushed to hospital and can't return, because it would be somewhat remiss of us to start charging them £2 a day for being ill in hospital. So, yeah, I hope there's a bit of flexibility and we look at things on a case.
It's all around and sort it out.
There's the man speaking from experience.
No, I'm just saying, I hope that if there are genuine reasons that people aren't penalised,
Right.
go away thinking, well, more than my job's worth, that lot are there.
Right. Yes, thank you, councillor Redfern. Councillor Smith, deputy mayor.
Excited. It's very good. It's very clear, very concise. I thought the policy was really good. Glad there's the checks and balances regards the membership forms and the ID checks and things like that. One of the things in policy wording at the beginning, I just wondered whether we could maybe reword it to highlight that, one of the goals of this is for providing sort of equity of resource to the community. So, you know, the focus on like sharing resources is, I know you've put sustainability in there, but sort of sharing resources is going to directly impact cost savings for people. So I think if sometimes if you don't spell it out that this is actually going to save people money by not having to buy these things themselves, that they can just rent them for a week. I think sometimes they don't really, doesn't stick. And so thank you, Ange, especially for all the work you've done on this, but it's been really, really excellent. From the little seed grows the mighty oak. Very good.
Thank you for bringing this to us in the first place, Councillor Smith. Councillor Hopkins.
Yeah. Has this, have these guidelines been taken from somewhere away we've worked before?
I've taken bits from all over the place, to be
Yeah.
honest, because like I say, I've just been round to different libraries of things, and they've been very generous with their paperwork. And then there's a library of things website which promotes the kind of scheme more widely without, yes, you can register when you've set one up within that website, but there's lots of blurb in there about what one is and what's the what things you should think
So
about.
this, you know, so this template's sort of working for, you know,
An amalgamation of all sorts.
yes. And then what I was going to suggest was, is it possible, or could it be set up that a photograph is taken of items borrowed? And so that when they return, it can be, disputes can be easily sort of sorted out. And then I echo Councillor Rogers' sentiments about safety. I mean, it's a bit of a worry, I think. And also, the electrical items, are they going to be pack tested
Yeah, each time.
each time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so part of the funding that we've had from County Council is to buy a path testing device and then to just have some basic training on how to do that.
Yeah. So when we, yeah, so when we get off pack tested,
Yeah, every time.
so that's, yeah. We're going to have to get somebody trained up to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Thank you. I think that's
just a very quick, I think that quick training is very imperative. We've had apprentices in the past, and I've asked them to use a drill. They don't even know how to hold a drill, never mind use a drill. So little simple things we think are dead easy and straightforward. Some people haven't got a clue, unfortunately.
Yeah, but can I just say, a lot of people who would ask to use a drill, I don't think they'd say, can I borrow a drill from you, can not know how to use it. I would say, I think I'll get somebody in to drill. That's my.
I think it's just as when I've said drill hold. Oh, I don't even know. What's a drill? Yeah, okay.
I think,
I think we
yeah,
need to urge some caution on providing too much advice.
yes.
Yeah.
Provide
Basic,
much advice,
yeah.
tell them how to use it, and then if something goes wrong there.
It's drawing that balance between being helpful and being reliable.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, well, thank you, Roger. I think that's so. Are we have? So, do you need any action from here in terms of approving this to be proceed on
I've
this?
got a couple of points there. I will ping them over to the solicitor, just to say, is there anything else you think is missing? And then if you're happy with that, then we will start to get things set up.
Okay. Do you need a proposal?
Well, no, we're just receiving things.
Okay, right. Okay.
One very quick final one. Where are we going to store this equipment?
Room C.
It's within the town hall, yeah.
That has already been covered
Yeah,
several
because
times.
it was A while ago about it. Park, wasn't it? But that's nowhere near ready.
It was high lane shop.
I think yes, at the moment the location is room C as far as we're concerned.
Yes, because it's got separate access.
Okay, yeah.
And so if you wanted to come and get things, you'd just essentially on Saturday morning, you just pull it back. Got some nice signage on the back, which just say that.
Wonderful. Okay, right. Thank you. Okay, any other comments on that? Thank you very much for that. So that's duly received. Okay, so final item, to receive an update on the installation of a town centre bike rack and additional planting.
We've talked about this very briefly before, so I don't want to go into too much detail. I just want to double check you're happy for me to start to engage with the owners of the site where B&M is. It's not owned by B&M, it's owned by another organisation. Happy for me to start to talk to them about the bike rack. Then work with Bilf and Bloom because they want to replace some of the planting stuff as well. We're going to have a kind of negotiation, I think, with both the county and this other organisation because there's a sort of line. Planters are on both sides, but we'll have to have those agreements. Just checking really that you're happy for us to start those discussions and hopefully bring a bike rack to town, which should fit in
Okay.
with our chain reaction.
So we're happy that Chief Officer initiates these negotiations.
Yes.
Okay, right. Do you need a vote on that?
No.
Okay,
do
fine.
that.
Okay, so that's it. So I think that concludes the business of the meeting. So thank you everyone for attending and I declare the meeting closed at 7:41.
21,
7:21, sorry.
I've been 22.
21. And I'll just, I read the far end.
Very good.
Four confused me.